Hey, it's Bill coming at you from Santa Monica, California. It's a beautiful evening here. I got a thing poking me in the back of the head. Excuse me. It's the end of a Sunday afternoon. Beautiful day here. Not a lot that went on, to be perfectly honest with you, but I didn't expect a whole lot today. In fact, I did most of my day was just thinking. And I think I started to talk about it or speak of it. But I think having 200 or 300 acres with my own, nobody has to buy it. They just have to earn it. And make my own community. That we're gonna make it so far, not so far off the beaten path that it's hard to get to, but far enough where we're left alone. And just have a whole community of it will fit perfectly with California, because New Hampshire always points at Vermont and says, oh, hey, tree hugger. Well, you know what? If that's what I gotta be, that's what I'll be. We can grow our own marijuana, and we can grow our own fruit, vegetables. We can grow everything we want here. And we'll raise, because I'm not giving up natural protein from beef. I know there's natural protein from a bunch of other sources, none of which I prefer. Well, protein, milk, all sorts of. I love almonds, but I'm not giving up steak. How's that? It's going to have a freaking cow on it, and pigs, and chickens, and there's going to be a process from start to finish. Believe me, the finish is where the start is. But I'm going to find the right piece of property, because I'm going to make it so that it can just run forever. Well, at least as long as this this globe can keep up with us, because we are killing the globe. And I know we are, and anybody that has half a brain knows we are. So, I am not going to be we all, breathing oxygen commits against it, but there's a tree that actually combats that. So, I know it's so difficult to understand, but that is the truth. Every action has a reaction. It was said by a very famous person. He wasn't just saying, he meant everything. Not like I knew him. I'm just saying, if you hear it and see it and think it, he means everything. Money changing hands as a reaction. A kiss. It's either going to be positive, negative, or neutral, but it's going to have a reaction. Every action has a reaction. So, I used to worry about what everyone else thought about my reaction. And then recently, I saw the burden that it could be. But it's not the burden to me. I was letting it be my burden again. And the truth is, if my honesty makes it so difficult for you to get along with me, then it's you got to work on it, not me. So, like I said, I, I, I don't need anybody for anything anymore. I really never did. I didn't. It was people make you need to have them so that they have a need in life. If that makes any sense. And parents are guilty of it on so many levels. And I don't hold my parents at all accountable for that. But I know that they've done it. But I know it was in the effort of, I call it training us. And that's what you do. You got a kid, you got to train it to be a good kid or a bad kid. But I don't think of it as training anymore. That's why I say I could be a great parent now. There's no way I'm having kids at my age. There's just no way. I mean, there's only one circumstance that could ever happen, and I have a moral issue with that. So, yeah, I just don't see it happening. I ran through it again through my mind. I had my chance, and I had exactly what I wanted. So I was blessed. I don't need any more than I have already had. So it didn't work out exactly how I planned, but that means I can be here to show a lot more love and affection for a lot more people. But I don't have to love them, period. I can just spread it out. That's what I intend to do. There's going to be couples that can't manage to find a way to get by, and all of a sudden they find out about my place where they can build their own little cottage, have their own garden for him or her, whichever they prefer, and whatever else it is. I don't care. Whatever it is, I'll learn it and train it. I will make it so that they are the best at it. And I mean, I won't stop. That's what I do. I'm not bragging. I'm not. It's my mentality. I have a mental defect before the actual one. I had to see everything perfect. I mean everything. And I mean, when you're building I know I brag about it, but it's a fact. When you're building the largest home in Florida to what I heard was at the time the third wealthiest family in the globe, but I don't know any of that to be a fact. But it's what I've heard. But I know this: I got to do finish trim in that house because even Mr. Kramer had to tell me, son, and I've already told you the story, but that's how obsessed I am with perfection. I know who it comes from. It comes from my Uncle John. And he was a fanatic about, my mom would tell him, it's my mom's brother, my mom would tell me about when he had restored like a 1930 something. He had a picture of it. The thing was beautiful, hot rod. I mean, and he was like dressed to, James Dean, blue jeans, rolled up t-shirt, pack of cigarettes, the whole 9 yards with this hot rod. And I mean, it was perfect. And he built it from the ground up. so I know where I got it from. And his dad, my grandfather, they had their summer house, and he didn't think it was big enough. And he had my father, and of course his daughter, and our family, I guess, up to the summer house. And he decided the house wasn't quite big enough, so he was going to put an addition on. I remember it, but I was told this also. But he took a chainsaw and he cut the end of the house off and said, "Now I gotta fix it." uh, that's my family, but it's the truth. And as long as it's not gonna hurt anybody or anything else, yeah, we're gonna try it. And I told you, maybe I haven't told you about the trip in Cody, Wyoming. Oh my God. We were out there. We were the last trip of the year. And it's a guided trip. It takes... my brother says he did it in under 4 to 5 hours, which I believe he did, because my brother will not lie. And, but if he did, I know he did it. And he had to have bust butt, because I think it took... I always want to say it took me over 10 hours, but if he did it in 5, I want to say I did it in 8. Even then, that's bad. But either way, I swear, I can't remember why I was telling you that story, but I know it must have been something to do with the terrain, because the only part I can remember is, like, on our 5th day of that trip, we were coming up on the backside of Yellowstone. I can't remember, it was the day when we crossed over. The guide had told us, actually the owner of the camp, Ron, had told us that we were crossing over roughly the Continental Divide. And it was, my birthday's October, so I was there for my birthday, so it's the week of October, first week. And it's snowing. I mean, snowing, like snowing. And it's so deep, the snow, the horses can't get through. And we have to pack down a path for the horses to get through. We finally get to this rim. You can see, I mean, it's a good ways down. I mean, it's a long ways down. And the guy just gets to the edge, says, "Hold on," and lunges. And the horse just belly rode all the way down. I don't know. It was the best. I almost said human. It was the best live sled in the world. It had to steer itself. I mean, you can't pay for that kind of entertainment. You can't, because they don't plan it. No way. I mean, I've been to some places where there's some weird stuff. I mean, I haven't even told my father this. When I was in Italy, I went skiing. And back then, it was only $110 to go heli skiing. I'm sure he doesn't know what that means, but I know. That means you jump out the helicopter. Everyone thinks it lands right at the top of no, not there at least. That hovers right above it. You have to jump out with your skis crossed, not on your feet. across your skis with your arm, and your poles in your underarm. And that's how you make sure you don't go down too far. And they show you how to do all this. That you're gonna put your skis on, upright you, with using your poles to get on your feet. All of this. You pay extra for this. Yeah. But it's worth every bit of it. I'm sorry, I'm probably giving you a fucking... Anyway, I wanted to get this... Oh, I'm giving you a... Oh, my son is coming right in on me now. I am definitely looking sexy. I got that whole rat-infested Beetlejuice. That's what I am. Did he use anything like this? Not the flag. Might have had the... I don't remember. That was one of my wife's favorite. But I can see it. Somehow. I know, what was that guy's name? Michael Keaton. I like him. He's talented, I think. I think he's chosen his roles very well. I know it's not important, but I'm trying to get... I only have 16 minutes. I think he's chosen his roles very well. And, much the same way, Jack Nicholson and, told you I like Adam Sandler. Steve Martin. Bill Murray. I was thinking of him today. He's been up... our house on Lake Winnipesaukee is not far from... They filmed, What About Bob? And, it's a beautiful lake. Gorgeous lake. It's... I'm sure it's... I haven't been in years, so I'm sure it's different. I don't like going back to places that I loved. I know that sounds horrible, but like Barbados, I used to go there all the time. I've never been back for the biggest reason. I don't want to be disappointed. You know, I went to Atlantic City when I was really young. I went to the Playboy Mansion. Not the Playboy Mansion, I'm sorry. The Playboy back in Atlantic City had a Playboy casino. I had my picture taken with one of the girls. And, I thought that was a big, huge event. My father given me, it was actually funny. My mother, we were driving back from our house in Florida. And, father needed to sleep. My mother's driving. Woke my father up, said, "Are we supposed to be in Atlantic City?" "Only if Bill wants to go to the Playboy Casino." I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "You know you're not allowed to go into the shows or the casino." I said, "That's all right." I said, "I'll manage." I did just fine. I got prime rib and lobster tails. And my picture taken with one of the girls, which was all I needed. It's a funny story to me because it's my wife and I at the time. This is after, I want to say, our first year. It's right after, yeah. No, I'm sure it was the second year. So it was right after, this would be a second, we got engaged after 2 weeks. I think I've told you that. But then, so 2 years later, because we got engaged in the fall, and so I went down to Florida. She still didn't know a lot about me. So I went down to Florida, and I told her, I said, you don't have to come down, because she had a job. And I said, you don't have to come down. I said, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing yet. So then I found a boat and I bought it. And I told her about that, because I don't lie. And then all of a sudden she was more interested in, well, maybe I'll come down. I said, that's okay. I said, you can come down anytime. I said, it's your boat now too, whenever. And so the second year we drove down, I had left the boat. I'm sorry, we both left the boat. I had left a truck that I had bought down there, an old, you can buy old trucks down in Florida as well. Here, even more so. Well, old cars. I love old cars. And so anyway, I was moving that one around. It's a beat-up truck, but I love it. And it's funny I say that. I don't know where or who I heard it from, but somebody very young for me, when I was very young, had said, you can either follow trends or set trends. And I guess I must have listened to some degree, because I always catch myself like at least 10 years ahead of my wife asked me, literally, like, in fact, she asked, it's the last Christmas present I gave her. She wanted an UGG pair of boots. And I said, yeah, it's fine. I said, they last forever. She's like, how do you know? I said, oh, I had those like 20 years ago. She said, these just came out. I said, no, they didn't. I said, those things came out 20 years ago. I said, I got them in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. I could show you the place I got them. I said, they were expensive then. I said, I'm sure they're really expensive now. Turns out they're made in China. I told her, I said, they're not the same quality. I said, you can get them, but I said, I'll guarantee you that that company or somebody like them is still making the original kind. And she said, what's the original kind? Original Uggs are lamb's wool, tanned, inverted. That's a true Ugg. It's not it's true lamb's wool, tanned, with the fur still on it. It's a process, and I don't really understand it, but I know that that's how it's done. And then they make the boot from it so that the leather is outside, and when they curl it, you can actually, when you can see it for real, you can see the sewing along the edges. You'll be able to see where the shear had cut it. Not the shear like they shear the sheep, the shear from the press that cuts the leather and wool, but sheep. You'll see it. It's all continuous. That's why they're so expensive now. But, I mean, they weren't cheap when I got them, but now they're fake. I mean, the pair that fit me when I got mine, I was in high school. I think mine were $165, and that would have been on 1983, 84. But, I mean, I had them for probably at least 10 years, and my first guess was going to be like 12 or 14. So, and all I did was purchase the I can tell you the name of the store, but they're closed. But the guy that did it was like one of the first UGG retailers, and probably the only one in New Hampshire. But Conway might have had them. But anyway, I just bought the kit. It was an UGG kit. You buy it. It was $45, I think. And before I ever did anything, I treated them. It comes from the factory treated, but I treated them again, and that's the last time. And I literally had those things for over 10 years. But I had the real ones, not these, not the new ones. And there is a difference. Somebody bought the company name, but the ones I got back in 1983 or 4, those were the different ones. But there, I'm sure, still somebody out making them. Australia. Australia, I always get them confused because Australia has a lot of great stuff. And I buy them all. Dry as a bone. It's fantastic. UGG, dry as a bone. Camprite. Camprite Australia. Down Under Camping. Just look there. That's what I did. Down Under Camping. Let me make sure I tell you what I looked up. Down Under. I'm very specific, so let me make sure I give it to you right. What to take Down Under Camping Australia. That's what I put in. And it'll even come up, when I did the, I used Bing. So when I used a Bing, it actually came up with a portable. I'm going to order this thing. I don't need it right now, but I'm going to order it anyway. It was like $265 US. I can't remember if it's shipped or not. But it literally is a backpack wood stove. Literally. And when I first looked it up, you know what? I don't want to tell you stuff that's wrong. That'd be worse than. I'd rather just not say anything. Let me research it again, and I'll look into that because it's actually something that I'm thinking about on one of these lots, because I can live in a canvas tent that I looked into, and it had this stove, everything. And if I'm gonna do it, this is the perfect time of year. I could put it 3 or 4 cords of wood all on the property. I could start pouring a slab, get my greenhouse. I'm not going to do a greenhouse. I'm going to do a grow house. But I can do all of that. I get a whole new plan. I do. I get this truck, and I'm going to see what I can do to maneuver it around. But no matter what, I know I can get them cheap. Here in California, real cheap. But I looked this thing up. This thing's got a 5-speed transmission. No cruise control, but I could fix that. But I can take, and I got a plan in my mind to make attachments that this thing backs up onto, and that you put a ball hitch on here. And when it sets in the cradle and the ball hitch is on, and you latch it down. I'm not going to tell any more than this because it's a top secret. But it's going to be quite handy, and it's going to start to build houses quite well. Because it's one of the things I always wondered. I can do a lot on my own. I mean, I can do. My father was brilliant. He is brilliant. He's not. I'm not going to wish him in the ground ever. He's, again, my father has been a very. That's all I can say. He's been awesome. But anyway, what was I? That's why I can't stand it. Oh, my father, yeah. He's, uh, he's an electrical engineer by trade, but I think it goes much further than that. I mean, like I said, no, I didn't say it to you, but when I was only 10 to 14 years old, and my brother was on a Caterpillar D3. He's only 5 years older than me, so he's 17 to 19 at most. Yeah, that'd be real close. That's real close. In fact, I would go more to the 16 or 17 end of it. And in fact, I'm almost positive. And anyway, he runs God knows what a D3 weighs, but I'm guessing at least 30,000 pounds. He runs it down over an embankment, trying to push sand over, to make a leach field, a septic system. The bulldozer goes over the edge. I remember up there, my father, but that's the stuff, as mad as he was at us. No, not us. As he was mad. And I have no idea why, probably frustration, but he didn't really get yelling and screaming. He just made us sit there and watch. This is how long it's going to take to get this freaking thing out of here. and I know I had to go home before it was out, but I don't know, but I'm assuming that David had to stay for the duration because he put it there. I was lucky. I'm sure my mother must have had little talk with my father about that after, because later my father had bought a brand new top of the line Ford backhoe, and it was top of the line. And I decided we had this area next to our house that needed to be cleared away so it could be a pond, and I liked the idea of a pond more than I did anything else. So I decided I was going to start digging out the pond. Now, mind you, this pond area is probably at least 3 acres, I would say. But I got a backhoe, and I know it's the biggest and best they got. I'm the guy, I can do this. I'm the guy until I forget to put the outriggers down, and I dig into the thing. First scoop. The backhoe goes down over the embankment, through the trees, over the stumps, rips all of the hydraulics out from underneath the whole backhoe is dead. I mean dead. There's nothing, no life to this thing. So I'm hiding. God knows I don't even remember where I'm hiding, because I'm sure I blacked that episode out of my mind. But I finally find my brother. I tell my brother, I said, I'm gonna be dead. This is it. Whatever I own that you ever wanted. This is the time for me to. This is cleansing right now. He's like, don't worry, Dad isn't gonna care. I said, that thing doesn't even move. It's gonna kill me. And he's like, no, I do this stuff all the time. He's like, well, I said, well, nothing like this. He says, oh, no, trust me. This is nothing. I said, really? He says, yeah, promise you. He says, Dad's not going to say a thing. I said, yeah. I go back up to my room, waiting, just waiting to hear my name called out. So I hear my name come downstairs. Father says, I hear you've got something to tell me. I said, well, I kind of figured you already saw it. He said, I heard you'd be upset. I said, I didn't think, I knew. He said, why? He said, did you do it on purpose? I said, no. Then why would I be upset? He said, I would be upset if you did it on purpose. He said, I'm not upset that it happened. I'm upset you were upset that I'd be upset. But he said, we're just going to figure out how to make sure you put the outriggers down so you don't have to mess it up again. He said, not knowing how to do that is just part of learning. And, sorry. I think my face is crooked. Jesus. I'm going to have to... I know it's because I smile one way, don't I? Can't smile right now. I got all choked up talking about my father. It's a, I don't know how to figure it out. I know I have an appointment to see my head doctor Tuesday. And, to be perfectly honest with you, I think society... I've lived in both places now. I mean, they literally, after my brain injury, they put me in a psychiatric environment, I guess would be the best way to... It's called the Manor. And, this is on the minor end of it, from what I understand. But, I mean, people wandering around... It has 3 exits. They're locked now because of an issue that I was in, where literally the supervising manager of the facility, who used to live there, whom no longer lives there, because she was brutally attacked in her provided unit, and when I say provided, it's part of her income. She herself was removed herself of her own free will, said, I don't want to live here anymore after that incident, and they continue to run it the same. This is staff that's not willing to live there. Not willing to live there. But yet continue to collect money from the people that don't have the luxury of that choice. And that is exactly what I'm telling you is happening. And it's documented left and right. There's 143 beds in the two facilities, each ranging anywhere from the lowest being just under 1,200, 1,180, I think it is, to the high end of a private room, they call it, with the same asinine stuff, ranging just under 15, I understand. I got no problem with a place like that generating an income, because that is a profit-making business. But when you take either 146 or 143, let's go on the low end, 140, 140 rooms at $1,000, that's $1.4 million a month. No, I'm sorry. Just under 11,000, over 110. It seems low to me. I did the math before. 140, well, 100, well, every 10 times 1,000 is 10,000. Yeah. Anyway, it's too much money for the services that they provide. I guarantee the sodium content in every meal that they serve, other than breakfast, the guy that does the morning is worth. I don't believe he's trained, but he's conscientious. But in the afternoon on Fridays, from the front office, that staff is awesome. I can't hand select them. I know the ones that are bad. It's not my problem, though. The problem is the owner. The owner can't see the problem, so I'm gonna bring the problem to the owner. But that's fine with me. And I just realized and learned that California, Santa Monica, the only way for me to get my housing here in Santa Monica, which now I know Santa Monica. I mean, I was lost just the other day in LA, and I know LA, so I'm not going outside of Santa Monica. Going into that place delayed to me now, I can't wait to see the connection Santa Monica has to that place, because then we're talking real problems. Because if Santa Monica is using that place to kick people like me out of Santa Monica, oh God, yeah. And I guarantee the way that this town runs, there's going to be they're not even smart enough to put the path in hiding. It'll be a clear brick pathway right to them. But I hope not. It just means more crap that I gotta fix, and I don't need the money. So I keep telling everybody that, but when Willie Gary finally gets back to me and we actually figure out how much money it's worth, because it's a ton, they talk about the Aaron Brockovich movie. They this is going to be 10 times bigger than that. So, because it goes, I've been at this 3 years. I've been discriminated against every branch of the California government because of my disability. And it's because I don't look disabled. I talk it on occasion. Like, mostly I don't remember it. But it's right there. And it goes the whole way from right there to right there. Anyway, oh Jesus Christ, I got to babbling. I'm sorry. Have a great night. I don't know why I got to babbling. I get all sorts of crap on my mind, but I apologize. Have a great night. Smile. Be happy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.